Hi, I'm Matt Lawrence, and I am a pastor and a life coach in Plymouth, Indiana. And I specialize in helping Christians who love God and want to serve Him with their life to be more specific and intentional about loving God and serving Him with their life. And I'm coming to you today with another frequently asked question that I hear often and that I know a lot of people have, and that is, can I know my purpose in life? And I want to take a couple minutes to answer that question. The answer is yes, you can. Now, there is a misconception that a lot of people have, and that especially a lot of Christians have, when it comes to knowing and understanding their purpose in life, and that is that they simply can't know their purpose in life. There's a misconception that a lot of Christians have about God, that He's not willing to show you your purpose in life, that He's not willing to show you a lot of the details of your life and your future, and in other words, that He wants to keep secrets from you. And that's just simply not true. And there's two stories in the Bible that I want to kind of highlight that help to kind of show us what God is really like. The first one is taken out of the Old Testament, and it's a story about a man named Moses. Now, Moses was the first leader of the nation of Israel. God had raised him up and called him to lead the nation of Israel. And Moses had a dynamic relationship with God. And one day he comes to God and he says, God, I want to see you with my own eyes. I want to be able to see your glory and your beauty and your majesty. And God says to Moses, no, Moses, you can't look at me because it'll be too much for you to handle. But He says to Moses, I will, however, let you look at me from my backside. I will let you see what I look like from behind. And so the story goes that God revealed Himself to Moses and let him look at him from behind. And then there's another story in the New Testament, and it's a story of Jesus with His disciples. And you can find it in John chapter 15, verse 15. And in this story, Jesus is speaking to His disciples, and He says to them, I no longer call you servants. Instead, I call you my friends, because everything that I have learned from my Father, I have made known to you. So Jesus is, in this story, He's elevating His disciples. He says, I no longer consider you my servants. You're no longer beneath me. He says, now I call you my friends. He says, I think of you as my peers. Why? Because everything that I have learned from my Father, I have made known to you. And in both of these stories, what we learn about God is that He loves to reveal Himself. He loves to reveal truth. He loves to reveal things to people who love Him and want to serve Him and be faithful and obedient to Him. And so the picture we get of God is that He's someone who loves to reveal and share Himself with people. And there's another passage of Scripture that I want to share with you, and that's in Matthew chapter 7, verses 9 to 11. So please listen to this as I read it. It says, which of you parents, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask Him? The picture that Jesus gives us of God the Father in this passage is that He is like a loving Father who loves to give good gifts to His kids. Now, yesterday we answered the question, do you have a purpose? And the answer to that was yes, absolutely. And we looked at the verse, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. And we discovered you have a purpose. The question we're answering today is, can I know my purpose? And Jesus says God is like a loving Father who loves to give good gifts to His kids. And I believe that God not only created you with a purpose, but He actually wants you to know what your purpose is. Now, why does it matter? You may be wondering that question. Well, here's why. If God created you for a purpose, but you don't know that you can know what your purpose is, then you're most likely never going to fulfill your purpose. And if God created you for a purpose, then He probably expects you to fulfill that purpose. But if you don't know what your purpose is, how are you ever going to fulfill it? No, it makes logical sense that if God created you for a purpose, He would want you to know what your purpose is, so that you can go and live out and fulfill your purpose. So yes, the answer to that question is you can know your purpose in life. You can know what God's purpose is for your life. God wants to show you what your purpose in life is. And if you'd like to discover or learn more about how you can discover your purpose in life, then I want to invite you to go to my website at MatthewDLawrence.com and sign up for my free ebook called 7 Steps to Discover Your Life Purpose and Calling.